What is up? Welcome back to the On The Burst podcast. I'm your coach, Brandon Savage, and I'm joined here by my assistant coach, Timmy Moody. How are you, Timmy?
Yeah, good, bro. It's been a pretty fucking stressful day. It's just been flat chat and...
You seem flat.
Yeah,
You've got a coffee and a Coke Zero.
Yeah,
that's bloody caffeine.
It's been a hectic day. It's just been one thing after the other. But, yeah, look, we're going to just push through and go with the flow. And, you know, we just recorded another podcast. And eventually I'm going to go lay my head down tonight. It's going to be the most fucking beautiful sleep.
Well, while you're putting your head down sleeping, I'm editing this to make sure it comes out crispy clean and
Appreciate
nice.
the hard work you do, mate.
Yeah, putting in the hard yards, coming on the burst.
Taking strong carries.
Taking very strong carries. 40 days until the NRL kicks off. Are you excited?
Yeah, pumped. It feels like it's like really around the corner. It felt like it was dragging on for ages. It was never going to come, and then Christmas happened, New Year's, and now I reckon that 40 days is going to go like that.
40 days is literally a month.
Yeah, it's a bit more, but yeah.
It's not literally. Don't you hate them people that use the word literally, not literally?
Yeah.
I just did that.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't hate you, though.
Yeah. Anyway, on the burst last week, one of our biggest on the burst episode by far, and obviously we were planning on it being bigger, not in the off season. Obviously, in the off season it was a drag, but I think how awesome! I'm so stoked that you guys got around it, and if you're back here listening after last week, well then thank you. This is our NRL show where we go over all the NRL news. We play a few fun games here and there, and we just make it fun. We're not experts. We're just massive fans of the game, and we've got the better podcast than the average Joe. Like, we've seen some podcasts recently. The market is saturated, and they're pretty dog shit, aren't they?
Oh, look, there's a lot better than ours too. You know,
there are. I give you that.
Bloody oath, but yeah, I mean,
you don't want to get cancelled. You don't want to say much.
Yeah, I'm very like that, bro. I'm very. I toe the line, man.
Where are you going to get? How are you going to get anywhere if you just don't say what you want to say? You don't want the listeners to be thinking he's holding back on us. He's not my mate. No, he's not sharing with me. What?
Yeah, I don't like to be too negative. I'm trying to be just not negative about things, you know. So if it's a negative thing, if someone's not that good, I don't want to put shit in them, you know.
I'm not being negative to a certain person.
Yeah, not at all.
I'm being negative to a group of people.
I'm just trying to put nice things out there. That's all.
Nah, that's all right. This podcast is pretty dog shit, to be fair, but we still run with it, and I'm stoked that you guys got involved in it. So thank you. We're only going to get bigger and better as the season goes on, hopefully. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty chill. Bit of super coach study. I've discovered a new show that I can't believe I've never known about this. It's on YouTube called Kill Tony. It's a stand-up comedy show where they have like a host, a couple of comedians that have made it in the industry, or like, you know, Joe Rogan's, that sort of stuff, Theo Von, and then they have guys that come up on women and people who identify as whatever they want. There's me trying to be real toeing the line. But yeah, come up and do a 1 minute bit, and if they're shit, like, they kind of get roasted. It's awkward and it's a fun watch, but then you get other guys that are just really good, or girls. But yeah, it's a really good show. I really recommend it. I haven't had anything that I'm that like keen on watching in a long time, and I just look forward to it every afternoon. I try to watch an episode.
I've got to be honest,
Kill Tony.
I haven't watched TV for a long time.
Well, it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
But even YouTube, like,
it's a relaxed vibe. It's, you know, it's fun. It's fun. It's a good laugh. I like a laugh.
I'm watching all these bloody like Supercoach NRL shows at the moment.
Yeah, I need to get a break from that. You know what I mean? I need to
I haven't needed a break from it. I've been deep in the balls in this whole season. My weekend was pretty good. Had SportShedTV charity match training on the weekend. We ran some block plays. We ran some shape. Random stats guy. He is an absolute gun. He's one to watch out for in the charity match. So, yeah, February 3rd, link in bio. Just plugging that every week until... I'm so excited. Drinkwest. We went to Drinkwest on Friday.
Yeah.
That was a good...
Great brisket burgers down next door there at the Brisket Boys.
You downed 2 brisket burgers.
Easily, mate. Yeah, love them. I could inhale probably about 4 or 5 of them. They're so good. I've only recently discovered brisket. I've always heard people about, I'm cooking brisket, and I knew what was going on. But I get it now.
Brisket's good. I did 27,000 steps on Friday.
Yeah, it's hectic.
And then downed it with some beers. I didn't have a brisket burger myself because I wasn't hungry.
Yeah,
but then
you missed out.
But then I went home and I don't know if I ate when I got home. I don't know. No, I didn't eat. So that's why it explains semi-hangover I had after a couple of beers.
Did you have a couple of pingers or something that day, just walking around doing 27,000 Ks not eating?
No, the 27,000 steps was to make sure I could have a couple of beers, get them into me. I did a video on the weekend, which was 3 teams I think are going to rise in the ladder this year. It was the Cowboys, the Titans, and the Rabbitohs. I think the Rabbitohs will fight it out for the top prize if it's not Penrith. But I wanted to bring the question to you. Who do you think 3 teams that are going to rise and 3 teams that are going to fall? 3 teams off the top of my head that I think are going to fall are the Warriors. I've heard a lot of people say Melbourne. I don't think Melbourne are going to fall. I think Brisbane are still going to be in the 4, but they're not going to come second. And I don't think the Knights are going to have the season they had last year.
Yeah, well, I'll start by saying I've been thinking about this a fair bit, and I've found it really hard to try and separate a lot of these sides. There's a couple of teams that are I think that will probably be the bottom 2, and a few teams I'm pretty confident will be in the top 2, I'd say. But in between there, I feel like you could just jumble that up, and it wouldn't shock me, like in any order, just random scramble. I'd be like, yep, that doesn't shock me at all. I think I could be wrong. A little bit of a vibe I've got is, although I feel like the Finns are actually getting quite stronger as a side. I don't know. I'm not confident. I don't know. Maybe they'll stay about where they're at. I was thinking they might go down, but I feel like the lack of what they lose in second year sort of syndrome. Like, I think they really, whatever their first year in the competition, they just had, there's a lot of energy about that.
Yeah.
So I think they lose a little bit of that going into the second year, but I think players like Herbie and Flegler going to the club probably alleviate that and make it sort of like nothing's changed. So I won't put them down or up. I'll leave them where they are. I really like your one for the South, the Bunnies. I think they should have just been in the top 8 last year.
Yeah.
And I think that they'll fix that up. And I think that they're a genuine threat to the competition for sure.
Latrell has lost 10 kilos in the off-season, over 10 kilos in the off-season, and I think that's scary.
Yeah, if he can have a great, long, full year as close to...
Dally M.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'd like to see him and Nath both stay on the field and compete for it, and then be at the end of the year we're both watching, because they're 2, elite players, I reckon, that...
They're 2 by the end of their career, if they haven't got a Dally M, then it's injustice, because they're both the best players on the field every time they play. So hopefully just time on the field helps them. So
so I like that.
Did you definitely say your rises or fallers, or did you just fuck around the question like you always fucking do?
Definitely the Bunnies up. I think I like Melbourne. I think Melbourne. This is where every time I go, Melbourne going to be in the top 2 or 3. Then I go, well, I also think I don't think Brisbane are going to drop off too much either. A lot of people who reckon they will. I think they're going to be hungry, just like Penrith were after losing their grand final to the Storm. I reckon they'll be very hungry. I think they might lose more games along the way, just randomly.
But are they going to fall?
No. Oh, well, yeah, from 2.
Fucking answer the question.
Okay. Oh, I'm trying to discuss it. You had you've thought about this. You've done a fucking podcast on it, and you just put it on me. So obviously I'm going to be less prepared than know where I'm at with it than fucking you are, aren't I?
Yeah, that's true. Although I didn't really think about who I think is going to fall. One thing I do know for sure, the Warriors, they're falling. I have no doubt in my mind they're falling. Whether they fall outside the 8, I don't know.
What is it makes you so confident in that? I think so too, but...
I think they've got the systems in place to not fall dramatically and not make last year just be an outlier. But I just think the competition's getting that much better that they lost to the better teams quite convincingly when they versed them, like Brisbane, Penrith in the finals. So I think while all these teams... I couldn't really define who's going to get worse, because I just think the competition's getting that much better.
Well, stop sitting on the fence, mate, and work it fucking out, cunt. Jesus.
No, but do you know what I mean?
No, just work it out. Make a decision.
Well, I said my answers. What are your answers?
Yes. Look, as I said to you to start with, I found it very hard to split. 3rd to 15. I just find that hard to split. It's going to be a fucking awesome year of footy for that reason.
For sure. You didn't even have to answer the question because I think that's a perfect answer. Let's get into NRL news. David Nofoaluma has been terminated from his contract at the West Tigers. He's been paid out $300,000 of his $1 million contract for poor behaviour at training and at Tigers. I think this is a great move for the Tigers. I think they're setting a culture, and Nofoaluma just seems like the guy that's never bought in completely. And for someone like Nofoaluma, being at a club with such low standards for a long time, I think it is a bit of a shock to the system. And he's come in with all this new board, all Benji.
Very business, eh?
Yeah.
He's been there for a long time and, very businessy.
Yeah, and Benji's bloody come in with all these standards.
Benji played with him too, so it would have been hard.
Yeah, a bit awkward. I think he can. I don't think his NRL career's over, but I think this is a very sharp blip in the radar. I think he's going to find it hard to find a club that wants to buy him, but I think when he does get that contract, I don't think he'll disappoint. Unless
he's pretty old. He's on the back end. He might only have another year.
Super League could be the option.
Yeah.
But $300,000 payout, that could last him.
It seems good, but it also doesn't. My first thought was, I think he'd be disappointed. You'd kind of want your million, you know what I mean?
Well, he took it quite...
He took it well, did he? There's probably something in his contract that...
Well, I'm pretty sure we got reports over it just over the weekend, and by today, it's been confirmed that he's been paid out $300,000. So
you reckon it was what do they call it? It was a equal thing. They were both agreeable to it, or I don't reckon. I reckon they had the shit to him.
He had to agree to it to leave. So I think he's just thought, if I don't take it, I'm going to walk away with nothing eventually because they're going to take me to the arse. I don't know what's happened, but yeah.
Well, it's a positive sign if they do you think that's a negative part of their culture? They say if there's cancer in it, cut it out. Don't let it spread.
There's been way too many rumours about him with poor attitude, so I think that's good for the Tigers and good for the Tigers culture going forward. Hopefully Nofoaluma can get a contract because he is a talent, but if he doesn't, then it's probably for the better for the NRL. NRL have introduced a new rule change, so no penalties for kicking out on the full or having a dropout that goes out on the full. This would just be replaced with a play the ball. What are your thoughts? My first thought is the game is in the balance. A team is 2 points behind. They've just converted a try. They're 2 points behind, and a team just needs to kick it deep, defend their set to finish the game. They kick it out on the full. The other team should be able to take the 2 points from the 50-metre line to equal the game. But instead, they're not penalised. I just think in certain scenarios, the penalty should be warranted. But what are your thoughts on this one?
I just think it takes away less of the talent, the skill in the game, the competition of it. It's sort of just like a bit of a cop-out. I don't know. I don't know. I never even had any idea that they were leading into this being a thing, that there was an issue there and what the problem is. But yeah, I just see if you're like an attacking side, my opinion is that there's just less reason to go for that short grubber kick now, knowing that there's no consequence to them taking the short 10. That you just have to play it there. I see teams running the ball a bit more, knowing because there's a pretty good return ratio of teams getting the ball back when they take a short kickoff, and the only reason people wouldn't do it is because of the consequence of the 2 points or whatever. So if the 2 points has been taken off the table, I just see that teams it could increase the attack. Imagine if teams are just down there and they always go for the run, or there could be more high kicks where they chase it up. I only see the low ones going if it's through to a player that's actually trying to score. I don't see them trying to earn that dropout as much now.
Yeah, listen, I've heard a lot of podcasts just dwell on about this, so I'm not going to go into it too much, but I just think if there's no penalties for kicking it out on the full, then I think for line dropouts, for set restarts, it shouldn't be 7 tackle sets. Even though I wasn't against the 7 tackle sets initially, I just think now, just to even out the playing field, if that's what you're going to do, make it, just give some incentive. Like, at least if they're going to kick a dead, then they're not penalised as well. Because I don't think they should be penalised 7 tackles when this other team is not getting penalised for kicking it out on the full. They're getting the exact same result for...
Then again, I don't think there might be more high balls. There might be less high balls because you've put the high ball up and it does, go dead or whatever. It doesn't land where you need it to, which can happen a bit, or out or something. Then they've... Yeah, I don't know. I think it's weird. I think they're going to change it up a lot, and I don't like it.
Flanagan locks in Sloan as his fullback for round 1. Flanagan is locked in at 5'8". Lomax and Sloan have both been training at fullback and wing and may shift throughout the game, with Bird confirmed to start in the centres. This is a weird one because he's confirmed Sloan to start at fullback, which means Lomax is not starting at fullback, but he's also confirmed Bird in centre to start the season. Where does that leave Sully and Lomax? Does that mean Lomax is actually going to start at fullback and Sloan on the wing, and they're just going to shift? I really think it's weird that coaches come out and lock in positions this early, because I just don't think it benefits the team whatsoever. One thing I do like Flanagan locked in at 5'8". I think he's going to do well there, and just having a coach that's going to back him for once. I'm excited.
He's old man. Yeah.
He's old man. How it always goes at rep football. But I'm excited for Flanagan for this season. If he doesn't perform, this is his platform to do so. And if he does, I don't think anyone can bag him. But thoughts on...
Is that 3 now? 3 coaches in the NRL that have their son playing under him? Oh, no, Brad Arthur's changed. Oh, that would have been 4. So then you've got Kevy and his son. So there's only, there is 3, but there could have been 4.
Well, it's really funny because, there's Flanagan and Flanagan, who are halves, Walters and Walters, who hooker, and then Cleary and Cleary, who were both halves. I'm pretty sure.
No, Cleary's dad was, I think he never played in the halves. I think
he did.
I don't think he did.
I'm pretty sure he played halfback.
I'm pretty sure he didn't. I'm pretty sure he was a centre, but I could be wrong, but I'm just pretty certain he wasn't a halfback.
I'm Googling that, but what are your thoughts on Sloan being confirmed fullback?
Yeah, I mean, he's got lots of skill there, but hasn't really nailed it yet. Hopefully 1 year on he really comes into his own, because I think he does have a lot of talent.
He played as a fullback and centre. This whole time I thought he was a 5'8". I think it's just because he's a goal kicker. It reminded me of Jason Taylor, who was one of my favourite players growing up. Brad Arthur confirms 2 hookers will not happen in his side. He's going to play 1 hooker for 80 minutes. Brendan Hands and Joey Lussick will fight it out.
Do you reckon, when he says he was playing them for 80 minutes, do you reckon when he's has one 80-minute hooker, he says 80-minute hooker, but do you reckon instead of having another hooker on the bench, a specialist hooker, he might just have someone else
just to spell them?
Yeah, like a second rower that comes in and plays 20 or something there. Or
I honestly don't hate that tactic. I just think I like what Brad Arthur's done.
I can't see either of them playing a full 80 yet. I don't know that they're ready, but we'll see what happens.
I like what he's done here because
Lussick's been a bit.
They're both very similar players, and I don't think they both fit in their top 17 players. So I think get your best 17 players, get your best hooker that can play that position. If they need a rest, spell them. There's no point wasting a bench spot just to replace mediocrity with mediocrity. Just get whoever's going to start round 1, get them rock hard fit, and then, Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. We'll see how it plays out, I don't know.
Moving on to the next 4 in our top 5 series, we're going over the Dolphins, Manly, Cowboys and Parramatta. We're going to go over their top 5 players, and we'll kick it off with the Dolphins. Timmy, you have the floor.
Yep, so number 1, I've got Hammer. I wouldn't have picked him until last year's season. I didn't think as much of him, but geez, he really showed that he is a top footy player. So I got him as number 1, 2, Herbie Farnworth. 3, Flegler. I think Flegler's obviously, an origin player and offers a lot as a middle forward, but just the flair of Farnworth, I think the pizzazz of him, that's why I got him ahead. Kafusi at 4, Kenny Bromwich at 5. I will say it was very hard to split because this side's made up of a lot of sort of not superstars, but they're all kind of on the same playing field. Nearly their whole side. Like nearly every single player I went through, I've had special mentions, and I couldn't really leave anyone out. So shout out to the rest of the side.
I think you've left a massive one out. I've gone with Hammer at number 1. Before last season, I was so against him being a fullback. I didn't see it. I didn't see the ball playing. I didn't think he was tough enough to take the tough carries.
You're going to say Sean O'Sullivan?
No. Don't dwell on it. Let me say my story on Hammer. I think he proved himself as an elite player last year, and he's an Australian centre now. We can't deny that. Number 2, Jeremy Marshall-King is, for me, I think he's easily in their top 5.
Look, he's my first special mention.
Okay, so you didn't miss him.
I've got all of them there, but he was my first special mention.
Yep.
But yeah,
but you didn't mention him. Number 3, I've got Flegler. I think Flegler is just a bit better than Farnworth, just because a forward's ability and an outside back's ability. I mean, you can put them pretty much even. I've put Farnworth at 4. I couldn't split a hair between them. I swapped them around. I just think Flegler offers them a bit more. I've got number 5. I think I probably have neglected the likes of Felice Kafusi, Kenny Bromwich, Jesse Bromwich. I put Azarko there, and I guess this is more of a rolling top 5, like who they can't live without. Like, he was their top try scorer, top point scorer last year, kicked all their goals.
He had a great year, but then in saying that, if they had another goal scorer, they would have still kicked goals. And then if someone was on the right wing, they probably still would have scored a lot of those tries too.
Yeah, but his centre pairing changed throughout the year. It was someone different every year, and he still kept up the try scoring. I think... I don't know. I'm happy to put Kafusi or one of these other guys there, because I don't think it should just be based on try scoring, because I think that's beta rugby league analysis if you're putting someone who, just because they score tries and score lots of points. But I just think he is someone who really stood out and was really, really helped them kick off their debut year. Manly, I've got Turbo number 1. DCE number 2, Olakwatu number 3, number 4 Gerbo, and number 5. I struggled to split these.
Yeah, we've got pretty much almost the same sentence. I would have said almost the same word verbatim as what you did, like it was a script, except I've got one player swapped.
With what?
So I've got Turbo number 1, DCE number 2, Gerbo number 3, Olakwatu number 4, and then I've got hard to split, which is number 5, Garrick and Cooler, as well as Brooks.
Well, I've actually got Cooler and Brooks, so Garrick's a nice one to put in there.
Yeah, and I couldn't really... they offer different things.
I didn't quite want to put Cooler in there as a hard solid, because I don't think he's shown enough for a long period of time. Yeah. But, yeah, very interesting one there.
Tough one, isn't it?
But I think we can agree Turbo's number 1 by far. Cowboys.
The Cowboys. This is so hard to rank. The order's tough for me, but my number 1 I think is pretty controversial, and I think there'll be a few disagreements. But I've got Scott Drinkwater.
I've got Scott Drinkwater.
Yeah, I just think he had a bad rap on him, and not as big a rap as what he does offer an attack. He can have some quieter games here and there. For Supercoach, it's not been great all the time, but I reckon he's a gun footy player. He's my number 1.
Can I just say why I put him at number 1? All these other guys missed time throughout the season, and you could argue that Valentine Holmes should be number 1 because they just didn't win games towards the end of the season. But when Drinkwater was suspended early on with that really good draw, they really missed that X factor. And I think without him, they don't fire a shot. So he's number 1 for me.
Yeah, so then number 2, I've got Val Holmes, which is, look, he's a centre. And
I've got Val Holmes too.
You're a bit rough on my Herbie Farnworth as number 2 because he's a centre, but by the same thing, these guys are very skillful. Yeah. They're very talented individualists, you know what I mean? Yeah, they're not controlling the game and conducting it and setting up everything, but when they do their thing, they're elite at their thing.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 Val Holmes, 3 I've got Tom Dearden.
I've got Tom Dearden, number 3.
And I thought it was a pretty tough one too. Number 4, I've got Ruben Cotter.
Number 4, I've got Ruben Cotter.
And then 5 is hard. I've got 3 players. Lolo, Nanai, and Robson. I'm going to push Robson to the side now. And pick between Nanai and Lolo. Lolo on reputation, Nanai up and coming. Lolo. Oh, I can't. Nanai. I'm going to go with Nanai.
I've got Taumalolo at number 4. It's crazy how I'm putting these people in positions and I'm not putting great amounts of thought into it. And when I do that, I'm thinking...
Lolo at his best probably jumps up that list quite a fair bit, but he's just been a bit underutilised, under his potent best, so that's why he's down that list for me.
Taumalolo is number 5 for me just because Nanai he's got a lot that he could offer. He hasn't quite shown it yet, and he hasn't quite impacted their season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very exciting, some of the play. Yeah. Like when he it seems like he jumps from the 20-metre line sometimes to land under the try line goalpost. And you're like, how do you do that?
Yeah, so I'm actually quite happy that we've gone very similar because I think it means we're looking at the game very similar, which could be a bad thing too. It could mean we're seeing the game completely wrong. But I guess that moves us on to Parramatta. This one actually this surprised me a lot.
I reckon this list was easy for me.
This was easy, but this surprised me, and I'll go through it. So number 1 is Moses for me.
Yep, got Moses.
Number 2 is Dylan Brown for me.
Number 2.
Number 3 is Gutherson.
Yep, Gutho.
And I was really surprised with that because there's not many teams where you could put 3 of the 4 spine members in at top 3. So that just proves how good a position.
They should be a better side.
They should be a better side. And I didn't put them in my list who I think is going to rise in the ladder this year because they haven't added much, but I think if they come in with the right attitude, they can definitely shake up the competition. It just proves they're top 3 players.
Who got a 4?
Hopgood.
Yeah, same. And 5, I think, is a standout easy Madison.
I've got Madison.
Yeah, sweet. And then I've got special mention to Penasini on the rise. He's a...
Penasini. I didn't quite think of him, but I think he's a really good shout. I think harsh to miss out was RCG and Junior Paulo.
Yeah.
But I don't think they play enough minutes, and they're always all right without them too. Like, if they've got one of them, they're fine. They don't need both of them. So, yeah, I'm actually so surprised that we're so similar. We didn't even speak about it, about who our top 5 are.
Yeah. So I think some teams are a little bit easier to work out. Like that one, the order just felt pretty simple. Yep. I thought the Cowboys was hard to arrange. You know, Tom Dearden, he's going to be the successor to... In the Cowboys, he's going to be the successor most likely to DCE.
Yep.
I reckon that Sammy Walker will evolve in time to sort of take that reins, though.
Do you think Sam Walker's in for a massive season?
Yeah. What have I got on Sam Walker? I've got him. Oh, okay. That's why I'm thinking. Well, I've got notes on him, but I don't know why I would have notes on him because I haven't got to halfback. But I've done all my players.
We're at halfback next for Supercoach.
Yeah. Well, I'll be doing that through this week. But yeah, Sam Walker, I've got pretty high up for the Roosters in their list.
Yeah,
which I thought, and I've got in brackets controversial. I just think that he's a tiny little body, but fuck, he's talented.
All right, you've got a brand new segment for me.
Oh no, we scrapped that.
What?
Well, I was telling you when we set it up. I couldn't find anything that was equal matching to sort of compare.
I've prepared nothing.
Oh well, you told me that we were going to do that ranking thing.
Oh no, still do it. And
okay, I'll make something up.
No, if it's no good, we scrap it. It's
okay,
fine.
I'll make it up. So would you?
I had a brilliant segment set up for today, and you're like...
I didn't like that segment.
No, it's perfect.
What was it again? I didn't like it when you said it.
It's pretty much it's like a game show. So you ask each other 3 rugby league related questions.
Yeah, well that's fucked because they're not like you need someone, an independent source asking the questions. Otherwise, I'm going to ask you the hardest fucking questions I can find. I'm not going to try, like I want to win the game. I'm not going to try and be like, who's the halfback for the Penrith Panthers? You know what I mean? I'm going to try and, you're going to do the same too, and we're both going to just sit here looking like dickheads not being able to answer the questions because we're trying to find the hardest fucking questions in NRL fucking stats history just so we can win the fucking comp. It's going to both look like dumb cunts. So it's a stupid segment.
All right, let's do Would You Rather.
Yeah, this is a stupid segment too because everything I fucking matched up, like one's just heaps better than the other.
Yeah.
But okay, so would you rather, for the chance to win $1 million, would you rather fight Payne Haas or would you rather race Josh Adokar in a race over 100? Like, which one do you think you'd have a better chance at winning?
Oh, the race for sure.
You reckon? So you don't need to hope that he'd fall over because any other day of the week you're never going to beat Josh Adokar. So for $1 million, you're going to need him to fall over or pull a hammy.
You're not beating Payne Haas in a fight.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And yeah, the only reason I'd go for the race is because either way you're not going to get hurt. You still got your
unless you do a hammy.
Yeah, but there's no chance of getting hurt.
On the weekend, I've never really done a bad leg injury or anything.
But you'd probably have a better chance of, as much as I know you can't fight, I can't fight either, but I don't think you'd have much of a chance against Payne, but you could hope that he sort of tripped over in the fight too and then just get him do a couple of dog shots.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's that one. What's another? Would you rather? Okay, would you rather play NRL, like obviously you've passed that point in your life, but would you, if you could have the choice, would you have rather play NRL for a whole year in a side and be unforgotten and be forgotten by now?
Yep.
Or be a current assistant coach in the NRL that's successful?
NRL player.
An unsuccessful footy player,
Yep.
then successful. Yep, okay.
Danny
cool.
Kemp. Look at Danny. Oh, was he successful though? Like,
Well, he played first grade on the wing for quite a while.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
he scored 4 tries once. Like, at least he's got highlights. Would I
he's
have any highlights?
He's no Steve Renoff, but
Would I have any highlights?
of course there's highlights. He's played plenty of games. There'd be fucking heaps of highlights of him.
All right, I've got one for you. Would you rather be in the...
I think I could be very wrong about Denton Kemp, but I think he debuted the same game as Darius Boyd. I just remember them both being on wings, and I thought they were almost the same person. I thought they looked exactly the same.
They played in the same team, so...
But I think they might have debuted the same game. I could be wrong about that, but I thought they...
Don't throw out accusations you're not 100% sure on, because you're worried about looking like a dickhead,
Wild
and
allegations.
then you look like a dickhead.
But I'm just saying, from my memory, because if you want to fucking take this outside, bro, you won't fucking need to worry about Payne Haas, bro. I'll fucking smash you, bro.
Would you rather play in the NRL?
Mm.
You're a 300-game veteran. You're one of the greats of the game.
Yeah. Yep.
Off-field drama, Jared Hayne type off-field drama.
Okay.
You're pretty much disowned by the NRL.
Okay, let's just say, like, not put any name on it, but you're dishonored by the NRL, and your name is a bit
tainted.
Tainted, yeah.
Tainted.
Okay.
Or would you rather play for 15 games and just be known as someone like, let's say, Chad Redman? Do you remember him?
Nah.
Played for Newcastle? Or how about
not putting a name on my tainted thing? Like, I guess what the level of the tainted was. Oh, the tainted's like you're frowned upon, and yeah, I'd go with the non-frowned upon. I don't want to have to sort of... I want to go to sleep easy and not have to...
you don't take risks like that, do you?
Yeah, no, I don't want to be...
Now, you really fucked today's show by not going through with this segment because...
I'm sorry, bro.
You really fucked it.
Well, it's a longer show than normal. Like, it's fine. It's not the end of the day. I've asked you a couple of would you rathers.
All right, so we'll make sure that Timmy doesn't...
Okay, so would you rather... You ready for my last would you rather?
Yep.
Would you rather be... like known for the bubbler incident or the Australia Day dog loving incident?
The bubbler incident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both kind of... I reckon they're very on par.
They're both very innocent in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think they're too hard. They're a little bit... They're not like, you're not actually doing the dogs. A little bit of like you could do it with a teddy bear and it's a bit of pretending action. It's a bit silly behaviour to do on Australia Day. The other one, Bubbles, I mean, fun. I've actually attempted it myself when I was quite drunk.
The bubbler?
Yeah, but I'm not a celebrity and also on the internet, so...
I kind of always do the bubbler when I've got like a lot of piss.
Yeah, I went nowhere near it.
But I don't eat it. I just like... it comes up in my direction. I see how high I can go.
You wave to it. G'day,
Do you ever stand like you're going in the toilet and then you just go from a massive distance?
No, I used to that, but I'll just sort of keep it safe these days.
Right. All right. Cheers for listening to On The Burst. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube. subscribe to the audio platforms. And have you got anything else, Timmy?
No, look, you've given me a little bit of fucking attitude this today, mate. So if you want to sort her out, bro, like let's what do you want to do? How do we want to sort this out? Do we want to have a beep test? Do we want to have?
Yes.
Yeah, like I mean, we can, and then like if I lose the beep test, we'll find something else that I can beat you in. I think you're going to smash me, but just for fun. I don't mind getting slaughtered out in physical activities.
I'm pretty excited. I can do the beep test.
All right, cool.
All right.
Then maybe you'll shut up once I fucking smash you.